What's up, y'all? It's your girl Tiffany. Hi, what's up? Today is right now. I'm getting my life. Do you like it? Do you like it? I just went over there to the college, you know, talked to the professor that wanted to be my professor 5 years ago. Did you hear what I said? That wanted to be my professor. That was scary. These bad kids. Guys, I live in the hood. I'm gonna go check this out. These bad kids. I'm telling you, this is the only time I can film. Y'all heard that, right? Didn't it scare you guys too? Like, my heart is racing. I'm just like having palpitations right now. Okay, but it scared my son too. That was scary. God, I'm happy I got it on camera. And I was gonna do a story time. I'm gonna do a story time now since my freaking heart just freaking fell out of my butt. This is why I can't live here. I live in the projects. I will be out soon. Affirmative thoughts, y'all. Affirmative thoughts. But anyways, let me I'm so scared right now. I'm trying to calm down. I'm sorry. Okay. We're gonna talk about pregnancy. Let's talk about pregnancy. You know why? Because this is the story I have right now, and I can't look for another story right now in the book because I don't think I wrote it down. So we're gonna talk about that. And the fridge is quiet, and the baby is alright, but you're gonna hear noises with the baby in the background. So just prepare for that. So this is what had happened. Okay, I was living in Florida. I kept going back and forth to my dad and my best friend's house, and I was talking to my ex-boyfriend that I used to have, basically my high school sweetheart, and I used to talk back and forth. I was in Florida and he was in Hawaii living his life, and I was living my life, taking care of my father. And so I was like, okay, you know, whatever. We just kept talking back and forth. He kept telling me his issues, and I told him mine, but he had more issues at the time than me. I was just, you know, worried about him and his well-being and whatever, but I didn't feel him back then. My grandma, she was like always trying to keep me hyped, you know, on bringing this man into my life and marrying him. She's like, oh, this is the man for you. But I never seen it before. I was like, grandma, no, you know, I don't really like him like that. Before I didn't like him like that. So I was conversating with him for years throughout, going back and forth from my dad's house and my godmother's house. And one time I told him like, oh, I'm about to go back to New York, and he said the same thing. He was like, yo, I'm gonna go back to New York soon. And I'm just like, you know, okay. So we both said we're gonna meet up in New York one day, I guess. And when I decided to get like really sick of coming back to the projects, I said, let me go back to New York and, you know, get my life, because I'm not doing nothing here. And I feel like when I go to New York, I'm everywhere, I'm hustling, Tiffany's working, this is just life. Okay, like, and I was single at the time. I didn't have no babies, nothing. Like, I didn't even have a boyfriend. I wasn't even active. Like, it was just crazy, like, how my life was going straight. Really good. I can travel anywhere around the world, and I'm single, I'm by myself, and I want my career, I'm ambitious, like everything. And I just, like, you know, end up being a mom. So like, I came from Florida, I went to New York, my grandma made a space for me in her house. And I was so thankful because, you know, it's not cheap in New York. And I found a job, like I told you guys, and I started working and just kept working and working until the time of the father coming to New York. And then we decided to meet up one day, and he was hitting me up. He said that he was at one of his crush's house, basically, but his friend, he said his friend, but basically it was technically his crush. And and that made me a little mad, because I was just like, wait, I thought he was talking about, like, he was saying this girl's name for the longest. I thought he was talking about one of my friends, and I thought they were friends, you know, from track or whatever. But no, he was talking about somebody else that he had a crush on, and I didn't know which one he was talking about. But the girl, I was just like, oh my God, that was so annoying. I was just like, yo, like, why is he coming from some other girl's house to come see me? And that should have been like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, oh, damn, Tiffany, like, yo, he's not feeling you. You know what I mean? You need to, you know. But I try not to assume right away. I'm not an assumer. So Anyways, long story short, we decided to meet up with each other. And when I met up, the first thing he said, because I had like a nice body, you know. I still have a right body, but it's not nice as it used to be. So, because I always stayed in shape and I always ran the city. So he was like, so how many boys be trying to talk to you or whatever? And he's like, I bet you all of them be talking to you. I'm just like, well, yeah, you know, I get a lot of people that holler at me, but I don't talk to nobody. I'm not really interested in nobody. I wasn't even interested in him at that time. When I was talking to him, I wasn't really, you know, there yet. But my sister kept filling my head up with, oh, if you have a boyfriend, you know, my grandma, my sister kept filling me up in my head. If you have a boyfriend, you know, we can go out on like dinner dates and stuff, and we can go on vacation, we can go on cruises and stuff, you know, y'all can go out and all that stuff, and you can come with us and all that. And grandma's just like, oh, he's like your married type, I love him, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my god, I want that life, you know? So I wanted to blend in, and when I wanted to blend in, I guess like I could let it get to me. It's not their fault, it's not my fault, it's not really nobody's fault. I have a son, okay, but like, yeah, after that we met up, we started hanging out at my grandma's house, and we just, after that, it just went off from there. And I thought we were like gonna be in a relationship because I wanted that life, that happy life, that happy wife type of situation. But the person that I were like talking to were, he wasn't really interested. He was interested in just not one girl. He was interested in many. And I didn't know really much about that because I never had experience prior to only him. So I was just like, okay, let me just, you know, just chill, give him a chance. I trust him. We always told each other the truth in high school. Was still different. No, that was totally wrong. I was so wrong. It's different. Like when you go and you separate apart, like you grow up in your own individual way. Me, I felt like I was the same person, but he went and got experience from a bunch of people and came back bitter. And I was just the same person, but just a more of a woman, you know. And like, yeah, so we started talking, and then I kept asking him questions because, you know, he kept coming to my house like, you know, at like 12 instead of like 7 p.m. You know, I'm used to being respected. Like, I'm not used to being disrespected because I never had anybody disrespect me before, because I would not ever let that happen in my life. So, because I know he's my high school sweetheart, and I'm not dumb. I'm just like, yo, I trust this dude. Like, you know, we never backstabbed each other before like that. So I'm just like, okay. So, anyways, long story short, I asked him questions, like, because he kept coming at the same time every night, and you know, it just gets weird. 12 a.m. and then I kept asking him. He said to me, oh, that's the only time I have available. And that really got sus. So that hit me again. I'm just like, oh, I'm being a detective now, because he's saying that's the only time he has available. But I'm just like, I'm staying home all day, and sometimes when you are somewhere, like, I'm like, really, seriously, you can't make no time in the daytime? Like that, it made me very skeptical. And I kept telling my grandma, she was just like, oh, don't worry about it, don't, da-da-da-da-da. So whatever, I asked him one more time, and we actually got intimate, and I was happy that, like, we were like working things out or whatever, but I trusted him so I can be intimate, I guess, with him, because I thought he was gonna be my boyfriend. And normally I don't just do that because I'm protective over my body. I'm not active. Oh my god, you okay? And what else? Guys, but my son is very distracting. I can multitask, but with him it's like a lot. He's like trying to knock off the camera and stuff. But like, oh yeah, okay, get back to the story. Oh stop, you're gonna fall. Oh my god. So I asked him again, one day he came to my house, and that was late once again. And I asked him, were you using me? And then he said, no, I'm not using you. And I was just like, oh, okay. You know, he's not using me. And then one time I was really upset. And then I was really upset one night because my family, and I think when I was intimate with him, I was probably already pregnant. because I was losing my cool, and I never do this at all. Like, my hormones was like going crazy, but I didn't even know. All I was experiencing is that my hearing was starting to hear-ish, when like it was not even loud, it was low, and I heard it was just like loud, and I started smelling stuff in the city, etc. I just it was something wrong with me. But that night, I called him, and he said he was having his issue, I was having my issue. We decided to meet up at like 1 in the morning. I think it was 12 to 1 in the morning, and we decided to meet up at the corner. So I'm thinking, oh, this is my boo. Thanks for him being there for me, you know, when I'm in my worst time of need, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was just depressed that night, and it was just crazy. I don't know what was wrong with me. And yeah, so we met up, and then we was walking, and then so we walked all the way across town a little bit where his side was, and I was crying. I was just letting it all out, and he let his out, but I was crying. And we just sat down, and it was cool, and then I just said I needed a stress reliever, and he was like, oh, I got a stress reliever. And this is when it hit the fan. He said to me, I got a stress reliever, let's just go have sex in my basement. And I'm just looking at him like, I'm stressed out. Like, this is not no boyfriend thing that he would say. You know, he'll make me feel comfortable and then walk me back home, etc. and stuff. He didn't do none of that. He didn't do none of that. That's when I knew, like, it was mad late. It was almost 2 in the morning. It was mad late. I walked all the way back, basically by his house, and he asked me, do I want to have sex in the basement? Like, that's when I knew I was being used. And then I gave him another chance after I walked home and ran home, because I knew there was something wrong with me, and I just couldn't tell. You know what I mean? I didn't know, you know? And then I went home, and then one time he came back over again, and then I asked him again, and he said to me, yeah, I was using you, and I appreciated it. And I was just like, are you effing kidding me? I just knew it. And then I turned out to just let him go, and I was so happy. And after I let him go, I was like, yes, I'm not pregnant. I can go back to work. I can worry about me and let a real man find me, right? Right? Wrong. My butt ended up going to work in the city, and my hormones were rushing so bad that I blacked out, like literally blacked out. And then my boss came around, and he just said something to me that pissed me off. And then whatever pissed me off, I kept yelling at him. I kept going crazy. I was going ham. Like, I would not stop. And I knew it was something wrong with me because, like, I never do that. Even if my boss pissed me off all the time, and I never, like, break a peep. I just ignored the man, yo. And this time I wasn't ignoring him. I was giving him everything. I even ran in the middle of the street. It was black, like, oh my God, I remember it was so black, like, it felt like my eyes were like this, like SpongeBob, you know how his whole eyes been black? Like, that's what it felt like. And I yelled at him, and then after it wore off, and I felt the blackness fade away. And long story short, I went to the city, and then I went home, and then I told my grandma something wrong with me after I got fired from my job in the city. And then I went to the hospital later on to find out, well, my doctor's office, later on to find out that I was pregnant. And after I found out I was pregnant, I had to get him on board, which he wasn't on board, but it's okay. Today we talk, and we're raising a beautiful son, Hunter, a beautiful son. I want to pick him up, but he won't let me. And now that's my pregnant story, I guess. That's all I have. Like, I would have said more, but that's about it. That's how I got pregnant, and unexpected, and everybody was in denial just as well as me. I'm still in denial today, and I don't even know why. I'm a mom. But yeah, that's my how I got pregnant story, and I hope you guys like up and comment, like, and subscribe, and thank you for coming, and have a blessed day. Mwah. Oh yeah, and I decided to film on this channel. So if you want to find out more about my progress through my pregnancy, go to the beginning of my videos and you can see the progress. Alright.